Foot is on the gas, my whole crew are helpless. I want mine in cash, want it all, I'm selfish. Never gave a fuck, I'm bad, I cannot help this. Caught up in my ways, counting days till I'm fucking out this. Whoa, roll up 20 deep, little homie, belt to snap. Like whoa, put 100 down and put us on the map. Like whoa, y'all ain't even know the place I had to go. In my soul, lost a part of me, but I won't lose control. Gas, my whole crew are helpless. I want mine in cash, want it all, I'm selfish. Never gave a fuck, I'm bad, I cannot help this. Caught up in my ways, counting days till I'm fucking out this. Whoa, roll up 20 deep, little homie, belt to snap. Like whoa, put 100 down and put us on the map. Like whoa, y'all ain't even know the place I had to go. In my soul, lost a part of me, but I won't lose control.
Hello you all, my friends, my followers. Here we are again with another Gamer Nation live episode. This is a gaming global podcast where I usually bring like coaches, players, and personalities from the mobile gaming area to talk about their journeys, their adventures, their learnings and lessons and all. And today we have here PJ, the beast from the Garena team Elevate. How you doing, PJ? How's it going, man? Morning. Night, actually.
Hello, good morning. I'm doing good.
Nice. So for me, it's morning, like I was telling you before, here in the backstage. Obviously for Philippines and Asia, East Asia, I imagine it's already night. So how are you doing with your Friday night? It's all good? How was the week?
Friday night, I think I'm spending my Friday night with my girlfriend, so I'm okay.
You okay? Cool. Nice.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Good, man. So I want to also say thank you all of our followers who are going to be actually coming to the chat and sharing the stream and having a nice time with us. I remind you all actually that this is a global international podcast, so we're here to have fun and to talk about different cultures and lessons related to the game. So it's very awesome to have PJ here because PJ, you are the third world champion I talked to here in the show, because I already talked to Bolu before, to Tectonic as well. So you are the third world champion, but the first Asian world champion. So how does it feel? I think that's the best and first question to actually ask you. How does it feel to be a world champion?
How does it feel to be a world champion? I think it feels great knowing that after all these years that I worked for, I finally achieved the very top of this world. So I think no other feelings. I think nothing can compare to what I'm feeling when I won the world champion. That's all I can say. I think up until now it still feels surreal. So it's the best feeling I've ever had, winning the world championship.
That must be awesome. And do you think that you have reached your prime as a game player, or you still see a lot to improve? How being a world champion changes your passion for the game and for keep grinding?
For some people, I think when you reach the top of the world, I think that's when you'll say that that's your prime. But for me, I think I still have a lot of areas to work on. I still want to be better. I think I did my best, but still feels not enough. There's just something lacking. I think that's what pushes me to be one of the best players because I don't want to be left behind. I always try my best, and I'm a very competitive player.
Yeah, we could see that in the words champions. It was very good to cast you, by the way, in Portuguese. I think you gained a lot of Brazilian followers and Latin followers all over the world as well, I'm sure. So it's very, very good to be talking to you here today. And I want to say hi to my friend Guilherme, who's with us already. All of you who are listening to us, you can always say hi in the chat, okay? This is an open environment, and we are here to have fun and obviously learn from PJ. So hit the like button and share the stream because I'm gonna appreciate a lot. PJ, before being PJ, you are Patrick. I'm sorry. So Patrick PJ, how would you describe yourself, as a person, other than the game player, the professional you are?
Outside of Call of Duty Mobile, I think I'm a very shy person, and like uh, I'm a first year college student.
Okay.
I'm 19 years old, and one of my hobbies aside from gaming is I like watching anime, Korean drama. I like reading mangas. So it's not like I always play every day. So I also have a hobby on cars too. I like modifying cars and
Oh, cars? Okay.
yeah, cars.
Good.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
Nice. What's your favorite car? Is it a Porsche? Is it a Ferrari?
it has to be a Porsche.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's
So
stylish. I like it too.
yeah, I like the 992.
Good. Nice, nice, nice. So good to know. So you're doing college now, right? Yeah? Or
Yeah, first year college.
that's awesome. And what is the course you're doing now? Like what is the major?
I
Where are you
majored
studying?
in Bachelor of Science in Marketing, so it's a business-related major.
Oh, marketing. Related, so it's totally related to the game, to codm as a in a way, right? As we can say.
Yeah, it's in a way it is.
Yeah. Nice. That's cool. So do you think on like maybe like going to the marketing area and creating content after you retired as a professional player? Does it come to your mind eventually?
I think in my mind, if ever it comes down to retirement, I think I would like to switch to content creating, as it's always been one of my dreams ever since I was a kid. So I think that would make my inner child happy if ever I retire.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. Hello, Yuan. You are also with us in the chat. Be welcome. All of you who are, again, listening to us, we are just starting this conversation with PJ, okay? And I'm sure it's going to be awesome for all of us. It's been a long time, by the way. I have to say this. I don't do a live episode because of everything we had to do for the World Championship. Of course, I had also to prepare to cast. So it's been a long time. I think my last guest was Wrath from Luminosity. He was a very nice guy to talk to. Hello, Razor. He's already getting to the chat and asking us stuff. But before we really hop into the Cdsi, the World Championship and all, PJ, you live currently, obviously, in Manila, Philippines. So how does it feel, man, to be a Filipino, right? If I can say it that way?
To be a Filipino, I think, to be honest, I think if you live in the Philippines, you'll find it very cheap here. When
Oh,
I
yeah,
came to
okay.
the States for the World Championship, I feel like I'm gonna go broke there. One meal in the States I could live in the Philippines for 3 days, and that's with breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Uh-huh.
So it's really cheap here. I don't wanna go back to. I like the country. I like the country, but it just I got culture shocked. Like everything so expensive since USD is very a huge currency in the Philippines. So, and how's it like being a Filipino? I think it's cool. Just sucks you have the Philippine jeans where you're a little short. I'm on the little shorter side. You just your average Filipino jeans. So yeah, I think
Uh-huh.
if ever some of you come to the Philippines, I think you'll have a great time.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to go. It will be different, I would say, from other experiences I had. I'm a guy that have been already been to South Korea, some of you may know, some, but most of you will not know this. But I've been to South Korea. I've been, well, that's the closest I got to Philippines. And one day, eventually, if I get to Philippines, I wanna knock on your door, PJ. Would you get me to? Would you say hi to me and can we have a coffee or?
Yeah, sure, of course. Just hit me up.
Nice, awesome. So what were the main differences? You said, of course, the prices and the cost of things, but like, what was the nicest thing you've seen in the U.S.? Have you been here before also, or
I
was
think
it first time?
no, this it was my first time.
Cool. And
Uh,
what did you think of the country? Did you like it?
Country. I like the country, like the environment. I like it compared to Philippines, but it's just really expensive. I cannot live there.
Yeah.
I won't last a week there.
Yeah, it's almost the same for me. Like, since I'm a Brazilian and I came to live in the U.S. for a year. I've been here like for a year, so it's a very expensive country indeed. It's tough to live. You're absolutely right. That's why, I mean, that's one of the reasons I miss Brazil. Of course, I miss my family, I miss my friends, and the lower prices to live in a daily basis. Nice. So, do you live with your family? I was gonna ask you this. Is it
Yes,
with your parents?
I currently live with my family right now.
That's cool. And how
I
do
don't
they
have any
see?
plans on moving out.
Oh, okay. When is that gonna be? This year or next year?
Uh, I still don't know, but let's see what the future holds for me.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. So I was gonna ask, how do your family see your activity? Do they like you playing and like playing games professionally and all? I
Oh,
think so,
actually,
right? You're a world champion.
yeah, they actually support me. They've been supporting me for a long time because ever since I was a child, I've already been playing Call of Duty. It was on PlayStation. My first time playing was Call of Duty Black Ops 1. My father introduced
Oh,
it to me. So then
nice.
transition to, I actually played all the Call of Duty until Call of Duty Black Ops 4. So that's my latest. Then I switched to mobile because the pandemic happened around 2020. So I literally just wanted to get out of my comfort zone and try mobile gaming. Uh, I just played COD for like just to kill time, just to pass time back then. But suddenly it grew on me. I suddenly became competitive. I wanted to be better than everyone, and that was. I think that's when it started. I wanted to be a world champ. I wanted to be a champion in this game. So that's where my passion started to burn for that game.
That's great to know that you have played some of the games of the franchise before, and that leads me to the question of how did you adapt, from playing eventually using the controller or a keyboard to using the mobile devices. Was it easy for you? How did it go? Did you play also on the iPad first and then move to the cell phone, or just cell phone straight away? How did it go?
Uh, I actually started with a low-end device, so my status back then was pretty much on and off. I had a love and hate relationship with the game. Sometimes I was playing it, then sometimes I leave the game for like a month or probably weeks, then probably come back. But then when my mother finally got me a new phone, that's when I started to really grinding the game and love the game since I get to perform better, I get to enjoy the game much more better since I have a better device. And that was around 2021. My mother got me a iPhone XR, the XR. It's really smooth that time and it's really performing very well. So I started on the iPhone XR. Then then maybe around 1.5 year later, my mother got me a 13 Pro Max to play competitive. That's when
Oh,
I started to actually grinded the game so much that to the point that I want to be in the big tournaments. I want my name to be remembered, and that's the very start of my journey. I started with my team. My very first team was when Yopi picked me up. That was around almost 3 years ago too. So basically, me and Yopi have been together for almost 3 years. We're in the same team. We're in the first team. Uh, it's actually me and Chloe, the remaining. We're we've been together for 3 years now. So I think our
awesome.
team really made it really far. So I'm very proud of us.
you guys, I mean, yeah, you guys basically came from, I would say, not being in the elite level of the gaming to being the world champions. And I'm gonna get to there. We're gonna talk a lot about, obviously, all the major events you guys been rolling for some time to now. I just want to say a quick hi to Tori, also an African creator who's with us in the chat, and also Ace Gamers Esports, our friends who are also helping to share and to give us some support also on their socials, bringing the African community to our podcast. As I said, it is an international program. It's an international show that I like to produce, that I love to offer to the international community. So we are bringing a lot of cultures here together. Guilherme, who's my friend from Brazil, asked, what does he think? What do you think actually about the Brazilians as players and as a people? Do you have an opinion about Brazil? I would love to know that because I'm Brazilian as well, of course.
Opinion about Brazil. I actually don't know about Brazil, but I'm very curious about the country itself, the culture. So since I grew up like knowing North America is the only like the part of the states I know, so I'm really not familiar with Brazil, but I'm really curious as to what Brazil like as a country is, like their
Yeah.
culture, their environment. I'm really curious about them. Maybe you can tell them. Maybe you can tell to me about them.
Yeah. I mean, Brazil. So Brazil, it's like, from what I've seen, from footages and videos, etc. Some cities of Brazil look a lot like Philippine cities as well. So we have, of course, I would say a lower level when it comes to cost of life, which is awesome to live. We get to enjoy a lot of things without spending a lot. I think we both have tropical pretty countries, right? So
Yeah, it's really
I think
hot here.
it's hot. So Brazil, it's very hot as well. It's a very hot country, always. My American friends here always ask me like, hey, do we have a winter season in Brazil? No, we don't. We never. It's just a summertime kind of country all over the year. So yeah, I mean, one day if you want to go to Brazil, let me know as well. I'm gonna get everything provided for you. You're
Don't
gonna
worry,
enjoy
it's
the
a
experience.
visa-free country for us, so maybe soon, maybe soon.
Yes. Hello, Empty, also in our chat with us. I love to see you guys finally, getting to get less shy and ask stuff to PJ because the beast is with us right here. Let me get back to a previous question by Razor regarding experiences. He was asking you to compare, PJ, if you can, everything you did under West Point Mamba, right, and Elevate. How did it feel to move from one house to the next one? Because we know that Low Kings, West Point was your first house, right? Like elite house of the game.
So for me, personally, I think last year where we were in West Point Mamba, I think last year was a learning experience for us. I think everyone pretty much knows it. We're called the Chokings by that year just because we really were choking. We were choking a lot, so it's a no-brainer. Even we know it that we choke some, but I think but still, even though we choke a lot, coach still reminds us that in order to win, you must first lose. So I think it's like another saying of the only way to go up is to go down, right?
Yeah.
Then I told myself that 2023 is just going to be a warm-up. 2024 will be our year, and we basically did it. So
Wow.
Elevate.
Yeah.
So Candy was also one of the missing piece in the puzzle. So big thanks to him. And I think last year was just a learning experience for us. It's a really big learning experience for us. We lost everything last year. Now we took it back.
Yes, you did, and with high level, with quality, and that's what we like to see. It's very good to see your humbleness, when you talk about your origins, and now especially in the level you got into. So I love to see that build up. Hello, my friend Safia, also from Brazil, the legend from the Asphalt Unite community. She's actually saying it's very nice to get a chance to talk to a champion. I would say too, it's nice to be talking to a world champion. She's asking about your experience to play on stage. I want to know about that. Hello, my friend Dede Gomes. So tell us about that, GJ. How did it feel for you to step on a stage and like having to face a lot of different opponents during the 3 days, and in the end of the day, in the end of the championship and weekend, raise the trophy?
For us, respectfully, playing on the stage, we have no pressure playing because knowing we're the best team in that current tournament. So we really have no pressure. Why would we be pressured when we're the best team there? So the pressure should be on the enemy, not us. Then, but I'm also humble enough to know that all the teams are very strong. They wouldn't make it to stage 5 if they weren't. So, but I think if you guys get it, like the feeling when you're just playing because you want to play, you got no pressure because you're the strongest in the league. Why would you be afraid? The enemy should be afraid of you, and you shouldn't be afraid. And coach always reminds us to never be afraid to make mistakes. If you're afraid to make mistakes, you'll never show your true potential. And I think that's really true. So to aspiring pro players there, uh, never be afraid to make mistakes. You you need to make mistakes in order to learn. You know.
Yeah,
And
that's
I think
that's a
that's my
champion
opinion.
mindset. That's a champion mindset. I like it. I like how you phrase it. Yeah. Wow. That's a very. Actually, the chat is also agreeing with me. That's a very bold declaration. I like it. I like the confidence. Hello, my friend Arnav. He's with us right here. We're gonna get to specific topics, folks, but I need to use this line of thought that PJ just brought here. I'm sorry, about facing strong opponents. So I need to ask you. How do you see the Chinese teams? Because we've just seen the Elevate just beat it and ended actually the Chinese supremacy in the game, right? We've seen the Chinese teams bringing the trophies of the World Championship last year and also Snapdragon Mobile Masters this year in April in Brazil. So when we look back, to some months ago, it was like all about Wolves. Everyone was talking about Wolves and Q9 and X-Rock and all. So Elevate was never taken seriously enough, when it comes to a higher level. And you guys have finished the Chinese supremacy. How do you see that? Do you like playing against them? You never fear them? How do you see the Chinese guys?
Well, it's not like we never fear them. It's just like you're entering a room full of people knowing you're the strongest. And like I really respect Chinese. I really do. I respect Uling, I respect Zai, I respect all the Chinese teams out there. So no hate to you guys, but it's just that we're really confident we can win on Chinese teams. Despite that, I think everyone knows that our S&D is not that strong, but I think on the World Championship you can see the improvement. We may have lost some S&Ds before the World Championship, but we won some on the World Championship. So the World Championship is more important. It's just another learning experience for us. So uh, I really respect the Chinese teams. They are very strong. They are very, very strong. It's just that we know on ourselves that we're better, The key to always winning is your confidence. It's all mental. It's all mental for me.
Yeah.
So it's all mental when it comes to playing games, you can just have a what do you call this? You can just enter a fight with no courage. You have to enter a fight with a full confidence in yourself, knowing that you'll win the fight. That's
Yeah.
how we think of ourselves. Entering the fight knowing that we would win in the first place.
That's amazing. I love it. I just think, yeah, this is what defines actually, a champion. And I like how you state that out. A very nice job, very nice mental job, especially from you and the team. We could see that on a gameplay level, and that takes me to ask you: did you guys had any kind of psychological support, and help, like a professional behind the team, talking to the players to make you guys less anxious? You guys never needed that. How does it feel for you?
We never had any of those kind of treatment. We only had coach who is always reminding us, like, to never be afraid to make mistakes. We got
Yeah.
nothing to lose. Like, we already made it to the world stage. What have we have to lose? So he just said that just give your best. So we don't have any regrets when we do lose, but
Mm-hmm.
we didn't lose, so we won't find out about that.
That's
But
awesome as well. I mean, embracing the mistakes, right? I like that. It's not a lot of players say that, you know, or are humble enough to say, "Hey, we love to also
uh,
make mistakes." I love this.
uh, that's the problem with some other players. Their ego gets the best of them. But in our team, there's no ego. We correct each other. We help each other. We win as a team. We lose as a team. So that's what
Wow.
separates us from other teams. Our chemistry is on top. I'll probably say that. I think our chemistry is the best. No other team can do what we do. You know, they can do
Yes.
it, but we do it better.
Yeah, we can see that. Yeah, that's absolutely true. We're gonna get to ask you more about the team chemistry after. I want to just before than that, like get to some nice topics regarding, for example, the summer invitational and after the words. And I want to use Empty's question here in the chat to get back to CDSI. So he's saying, ask him what was going on his mind after the huge comeback against Q9 on CDSI. And I want to ask you about that because apparently on a higher international level, the CDSI, I mean, the COD Summer Invitational, right, that basically brings Asian teams together. That was the first major championship you guys won on a higher level, you know, and you guys could use that championship to show the world what Elevate is up to. So how did it feel for you facing Q9? And replying to Empty's question, how did it feel to do a comeback against Q9 and facing them?
To I think if you're going against us and you think that you're already one step ahead of us, that's where you already lost because we're always
Ooh.
2 steps ahead of our opponent. You can't just think that you're going to win just because you have more points than us, especially on that hard point. I think everyone saw that 120 hard point deficit. You can't just think that you're already gonna win. You're up against Elevate. You're not against any other teams. You're up against the best hardpoint team in the world. So that's what I have to say. And I am confident with that answer because we backed it up with a world championship, not losing a single response.
Yep, entirely true. Again, I love the confidence, and it's as you said, it's a fact checked confidence, not just for show or for fake. Nice. Okay, so getting back and reversing against Chinese teams, and especially playing hardpoint so well as you guys did, I would say it's one of the most brilliant things we haven't ever seen like in the scene, because the Chinese teams, they took a while, but they got there. They got to the best spot, and you guys reversed that. And I want to ask you about Hardpoint then, if since you brought the topic here to the conversation. What is the mentality behind Elevate's Hardpoint? What can you tell about that? What was the magic happening behind a team that didn't lose any of the hardpoint maps that they played? You guys won 8 hardpoints out of 8 played. How did it go?
I think it all comes down to our strategy, not only our strategy but also our mental. It's in our mental that when it comes to hardpoint, we know we'll never lose, and
Wow.
even if we're down by 200 points, we know we'll never lose. We know we can come back that, just because we're the best hardpoint team in the world. And I know for a fact that we can do that. Even if it's 150, even if it's 200-point deficit, I think we can still come back that, especially because our minds and mental are used to that we can never lose a single hardpoint. So I think that puts us to an advantage uh, where our mental is really used to catching up to the opponents. So I think that's what our hardpoint really is. It's just getting to objective. There's Our mind is just focused on the objective. So there are other teams. I don't want to drop the names, but there are other teams that actually has like they have really a lot of kills, but it's not just they can't turn it into objective kills. It just turn into useless. They don't have value. So in our team, especially in hardpoint, we solely focus on objective. We don't care about kills. We don't care about who's the MVP. We don't care who bottom frags in our team. It's all just important kills. Who cares if you like drop 10 kills only, like, but you got 10 important kills, like, that's really high
Yeah.
value, right? So it's the value that counts, not it's always going to be quality and not quantity on our team when it comes to kills in hardpoint. So that's on our side though.
Yeah, I like how you again how you build the idea of really like enhancing the collective gameplay side of things, because that's what COD is about. Like you cannot win in the end of the day alone. You need a team. You need a collective effort. And someone who does not know a lot about codm could just get here into the stream and hear you out and think, okay, so is he basically saying he doesn't trust like the individual capacity to change a game? So does it mean that PJ is like always looking into always playing collectively? So what would you say to this person? Like, do you believe that is it possible to win and have high performance like also betting on the individual capacities, or you guys always thought about the collectiveness of it? How do you see this?
On our team, we basically play as a team, like as a whole. So there's like, let's say that for me, let's say me for example, I use me for example. I'm having a bad game, but it doesn't affect me. It doesn't like affect my mentality where I'm having a bad game. Oh shit! I think I'm gonna no. I think in my mind, it's going to be I'm having a bad game, but it's a 5v5, not a 1v5. So I know my team is there to back me up. So I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to have a bad game. So none of us are afraid to have a bad game, because we know that if we have a bad game, we have 5 players in the team. All of them will step up. If one does not step up, the other one will step up, and vice versa.
Yeah.
It's a team. You lose as a team, you win as a team. I don't know how many times I have to repeat that, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the truth about esports. It's not just individual. You can't just
Yeah.
always focus on
Yeah.
yourself. It's always gonna be your team.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that. And I wanna get back to the hard point. Since we're talking about team qualities, I wanna get to HP, where Adhin in our chat, he asked, how PJ, how do you guys do to reinforce heals so fast in hardpoint mode? Like, tell us more about that. Like, is there any kind of small trick or any information you can provide us with, because you guys play amazingly well in the hardpoint modes?
On Hardpoint, it's really hard to explain it, but if you're going to watch our hardpoints, you can basically just see that there are smokes everywhere. We just get into objective, whether you're using an AR, using a SMG, because some people are just used to, let's say that there are 5 players on the team, and back then they have like an anchor, they have an objective, they have a slayer, they have those kind of roles. But in our team, it's like a 5-man flexi. So what
Yeah.
do I mean by a 5-man flexi? So let's say that mm, it the world is used to like for AR to being the anchor, right? In our system, it's always going to be like whoever gets to anchor first will be the anchor. It doesn't have to be an AR, it can be an SMG, a shotgun, or whatever. So that's basically in our system. So if let's say that no one is stepping into the objective, even the ARs can just directly go to the objective. In our team, it's just basically since let's say that in the objective, right, that someone died. So what's wait, sorry, someone died, so there's like basically 4 of us left now, right? 4 of
Yeah.
us left.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically whoever is the nearest on the hard point will just basically adjust to the objective. So whoever is near will just get inside the objective, since the other one will just be in the spawn, then they'll coming back. Then it will be just an infinite loop, lah.
Yeah.
If you get it, if it will just
Yeah.
an infinite loop. You die, someone replace. You die, someone replace. So it's very complicated, to be honest. It's really hard to do. It's really easy to watch it, but it's really hard to do.
Yeah, no, yes, I understand that, because we have been like getting used to watching COD, since 2020. Like you said, on the model you just described. I mean, the roles-driven model where each player has a specific task or function, and yeah, I mean, it worked for a while, and that's why we've seen like Western teams like raising the trophies during the first times of the year, like the first years of the game, and like, but then it changed. I guess the Chinese teams changed that like last year, and now you guys have consolidated that. So that's a very cool way to play the game. I love to watch you guys on HP. And moving on about about that mentality. side of things, do all the guys, embrace that? How do you guys communicate? Because obviously, not a lot of us can understand when you guys are doing the dial-ins, the call-ins. How does it feel for you, the communication side of the team? Are you happy with that? You guys are all together and synergic?
I think regarding that question, it also has something to do with our chemistry,
Yes. Yeah.
Like if we communicate, how we communicate each other in Hardpoint, it's just very simple, It's just, uh, I think the most common line we use to communicate with each other is just get in the Hardpoint. That's just we always say, whether you're using an AR, whether you have a shotgun, just get inside of the objective. Someone will just come and help you there. That's what we just communicate to each other.
Awesome. That's so cool. That's nice. We have a lot of different types of communication, as we know, and I'm assuming you guys are more focused on like describing where you are, what we're gonna do next. Because other teams, they also speak a lot about other players, where they are. I mean, the communication gets maybe heavier and or too polluted. But yeah, no, cool to know you guys are actually the best on that, and we could see that in Atlanta. So getting to World Championship, I want to ask you more about how did it feel, to finish the championship undefeated. You guys were the champions without losing like an entire match. Do you feel everything you guys worked on totally paid off, or you still see some room for improvement on the team level?
I still see room for improvement. We still made some errors in the World Championship, but it's not just us who's making the errors, it's also the enemies. But we executed it better. That's why we won. But uh, I entered the World Championship knowing that we'd be the champions in the first place. That's why um, it's always. I think I've been saying it a lot, but it's all mental, guys. It's all mental. In my mind, I when I come to play in the World Championship, it just comes to my mind that I'm coming in the server knowing I'm the strongest here, so I know I don't have a problem like facing against any opponents, whether you're the best right now, whether you're the most respected team. I don't care. In my mind, I'm just the best in the server. So having a good mental will really help your gameplay and performance.
Yeah, totally. And speaking about that, yeah, let's talk about again how the chemistry of the team is built up. I want to ask you more about that because I want to know how did you guys evolve during time. And what I'm trying to ask is, have you ever played with the guys that you are currently now, or you guys made a lot of changes to build the Elevate roster? How did it go?
Coming from WPM, it's always been. I think the three of us are only left now, which is me, Yopi, and Kalo. Uh, and sorry, it was actually four. Susano too, but me, Yopi, and Chloe have been together for 3 years. Susano, almost 2 years, or probably 2 years now.
Yeah.
And Luffy is our sub, but we decided to bench him and replace him with Candy. And everyone was saying that Candy is washed, he's past his prime. But in our minds, like, does that really matter? Do you have to acquire a player on their prime to actually be strong? So I think it doesn't matter. It's always going to be your strategies. It's always gonna be your coach who's gonna make you stronger, not other people. So in our minds, Candy was the best pick. So we
Cool.
did not regret picking up Candy. Ever since we got Candy, we won 5 major championships in a row, and I think that should shut people up
Yeah.
about him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he delivered a lot. I was always joking also on the Brazilian casting that Kenji was like the last guy alive. He was almost a very regular clutcher, defining some situations for the team. So, like you said, it's a collective team, it's a collective game. So there's no such thing as ego, or we shouldn't see that as frequently as we see. But anyways, the Asian region as a whole always being humble, always being like very, very hardworking. Getting back to the Chinese teams, I want to just ask you about how did it feel facing Wolves and then Q9? You guys beat them during this last championship. First of all, Wolves, and then in the playoffs, you guys could beat Q9 in the finals. But you guys didn't face X Rock, right? We know that also since the Cdsi, you guys didn't face them in playoffs. The same happened on the stage 5 on the World Championship. So, do you feel you have completely destroyed the Chinese teams, or you want to still face X Rock to say, okay, finally, we finally have defeated the guys, and we can, we can say that we definitely have overcome the Chinese guys.
We already defeated the team that defeated X-Rock. I think there's nothing more to say
Awesome.
about that.
Okay, guys, that was a nuclear kind of reply. I like it. Thanks for that. Yep, you guys have defeated the ones that defeated them, so that's fair. And getting back to the semifinals, then you guys have faced galleries, so that also takes me back to the question of, have you ever thought about like facing galleries on playoffs? Did you guys prep anything specific against them, or that didn't happen?
Uh, it's not like we didn't prepare about them, but rather we're just confident about them because they were playing really slow, and the Western teams are actually, in general, the Western teams are actually really slow right now, and I think it it shed light to them that they have to change their playstyle and gameplay. But other than that, their gunfights are really strong. That if you can see the post match against Elevate versus Galleries, you can see the kills were pretty much similar. But if you're gonna look at the objective, we won by 210 points. So that's, I think that's what sorry, but that's where you have to change your strategy. You have to adapt to the meta. You can't always stick to uh what works for you in the past, since we're in the present now. We're not living in the past. So Galores is really a strong team. I look forward to facing them again, maybe at their full strength, since I feel like that's not their best performance, but I know they have something more to show to the world. I'm looking forward to that.
Fantastic, nice. Yes, I think it's gonna happen soon, and we all gonna have a lot of pleasure watching and casting it eventually. Now, I wanna ask you more about the future. You guys, as we know, you guys are resting. You guys just made a very very nice run. It was a fantastic year. Surely you're having some nice off days. What are the plans? You guys want to change a lot next year? You guys just wanna, on the other hand, like keep doing what you do? Do you see, I don't know, any potential change that you wanna tell us about, or?
Really haven't come down to that kind of
Okay.
like topic yet, since we're off day, but maybe we'll have a meeting regarding that. But if ever we do have like a change, I think we'll let everyone know if we can. So just stay tuned, guys, stay tuned.
Nice. And we have been talking about the Asian teams, so like Chinese teams, other than obviously the changes or the news, but like getting back to the teams that you guys faced, just want to explore a last topic about the Indian teams or the other regions as a whole. Like, however you prefer to reply. How do you see the other regions? You just talked about galleries and Chinese guys, but like, how do you see Godlike now, Vitality, or the European scene, the newborn African scene as well? How do you see all the other regions? Do you see potential on them, like to eventually defeat Elevate?
I wouldn't say they would defeat us, but they would show a good fight. Respectfully, that's respectfully saying, guys. So I
Yeah.
don't mean offense, but for the Indian region, they are actually really strong. Especially Vitality. They have Tech, Solo, Marvel. They have three imports. Then they also have one of the Rising Prodigy, Viper. He's going to be participating this coming year, so I'm looking forward to that. For Godlike, they really don't have any changes aside from Igor being switched from coach to being analyst right now. So I think that would be a pretty interesting move made by Godlike. Other than that, Godlike is a really strong team in general. Everyone in the world knows that. Vitality, they have a lot to prove. They have a lot to prove, like uh, on the bigger stage. I'm looking forward to that just because I'm actually a fan of Vitality. they have Tech there, you know. They have Tech. They have Solo. Uh, Marvel, the best player in Europe, you know. So they were just unlucky regarding the ban. Tech was using hardline, so that was very unfortunate. Maybe if Tech wasn't used that, maybe we would have seen a different outcome of Vitality in the playoffs. So very unfortunate. But other regions, Japan actually, Japan finished 15 to 16 this World Championship, but
Yeah.
I think everyone knows that that's not how Japan real plays. I think they have to have internal issue, you know. I've also heard that when when they arrived in Atlanta, that was their only time practicing the S23 Ultra, you know. So it puts them at a huge disadvantage compared to the teams that have been using it already. So uh, if ever and sorry, but regarding the Japan too, it's really unfortunate. Like NA, they don't have any tournaments like we have in the East. So,
Yeah, true.
but aside from that, Japan is a strong region. You shouldn't underestimate them.
True.
I'm looking
And
forward for next year. And for Africa, I really haven't heard anything from Africa. But if ever they do add it to next year, then I'm looking forward to going against them.
nice. So Africa, you heard that. You better prepare. You better brace yourselves, because Elevate wants to face you guys soon enough. There was a lot of discussions, and I can see that about social media on like how the stage 5 spots should be distributed next year, especially eventually potentially giving a chance to Africa, eventually just one spot, or other regions having like kind of a rebalance on that. But let's see how that goes. I also want to know about our chat about this topic. What you guys think about the distribution? Would you change? How would you see the spots to stage 5 or the world finals being redistributed or changed a little bit, just to, I don't know, shake things around? But getting back to the other regions, and you mentioned specifically Japan, Diavolos as the Japanese representatives, they were, yeah, I would say they were not at their best on the world champion, but like they try to show on the summer invitational, right? And I don't know if you guys have had a chance of playing against them or screaming, but on a gameplay level, did you like what they showed, PJ? What do you think about they need to do
Yeah,
to improve? Like,
for Diabolos in general, in Japan
yeah,
in general, I
yeah,
think the same thing is going on like with NA, with the West. Like there's no motivation for them to just play the game. I've heard that in Diabolos 2 or 3 players are retiring because they will have a job, so like
mm,
they have to focus on the real life because there's really not much income, you know, you can make when you're literally playing one tournament per year. You cannot live off with that, you know.
yeah,
So I understand if some of them are retiring. So I really hope that next year will be a better year, not just for us, but all regions, where we can have a tournament, a fair tournament, you know, where we can have the same motivation, where all teams have the same motivation, the same goal, the same dedication, you know. I think that would make next year a pretty good year, not just for us, but for everyone who loves playing Call of Duty. So if that happens, and I hope it does, it will be the best year in Call of Duty Mobile.
nice. And getting back to the spots question, do you so we're talking about regions. Do you see Garena deserving already 3 spots in the World Finals? Honestly,
Uh,
PJ.
Deserving 3 spot. I think that's a no-brainer. I think we really deserve a 3 spot regarding that, since um I think we proved it, you know. Garena deserves that.
Yeah, yeah. I would say so. That was one of the changes I suggested when also I talked about this on X. I was saying, guys, there's no way Garena can just keep 2 spots. We need to go up on that. 4 maybe would be kind of much, but like 3 spots, it's the minimal. I would see China again, like having 3 spots. If you want to keep competitive, you're just gonna shorten that to 2 spots. I don't know, but yeah, let's see how things happen on that matter for the next year. But cool, PJ. Getting back to basics, I want to ask you some stuff because we already hopped in talking about a lot of exciting stuff on COD. But like, how does it feel, man, to be a world class, professional in your country? Tell us more about this relationship between, your role, who you are now, and the country. Did you guys, I don't know, now you guys got a lot of fans. How does that go in your country?
In my country, I think I still see myself as a Filipino citizen who is trying to make a living, who has a dream, and so I still see myself as a normal citizen. It's not like I did win a world championship, but I'm still humble in life to know that what God gives, He also takes. So I think I'm just gonna stick to the way how I was. How you know me is I'm gonna try my best to stick. Ha, I'm gonna try my best to stick how you know me, because I like to be humble about myself. I don't want to be too boastful, because I believe in karma. So,
Good.
and
Yeah.
aside from that, I did have some new fans in the Philippines, but yeah, they're okay. I'm really interactive with some fans, but sometimes I really get shy, so uh, it's hard for me to interact sometimes, especially when it's in person because I'm a shy person.
Well, it doesn't look that way. You speak so well the English. You bring so many informations to us here. And also, I regret that we didn't have actually a proper time to like talk in person, right? In Atlanta, I was
Yeah.
so in a hurry, and
Yeah, everyone
also
listening.
when we could talk in the stage, you remember that I just didn't want to, to interrupt the moment you guys were enjoying and taking a lot of photos. So we took a photo.
Yeah,
That was a very nice
I
photo.
remember. I remember that.
That was a very nice moment as well. So, talking about humbleness, you're just mentioning how you like to keep humble and all, and I love that. And I don't want to sparkle any kind of beef again between West versus East. I know that was a very hot topic, lately in the last years in our game. But I want to ask you about how do you see the preparation for the game? Because, for example, Bolu, the retired Bolu, when he talked to me here in the show, he said, "Hey, we don't like to train a lot. We like to just train like very focused 2 hours per day, and that's it. It's better than training, for example, 6, 8, 10 hours a day." So, what is the philosophy between or behind prepping for the games when it comes to Elevate? You guys play a lot of hours or not a lot?
Usually we play rank maybe 3 to 4 hours daily. Then after that, we have scrims 8 p.m. until maybe 12 a.m. But on CDSI we start scrims at 7 p.m. We end scrims at 1 or 2 a.m. So it's not like it, what they call this. It's not the hours you put in. It's about the the value you get from it. Like
Yeah.
take scream seriously, you'll learn a lot from it. It doesn't matter if you like, let's say you scream 5 times a day, but you don't take it serious. You're not gonna learn anything. It's always you have to have you have to understand quality screams. You have to understand that in order to actually progress and get stronger. We scream that much because in scrims it's okay to make errors. It's okay to make mistakes because that's when you know that you need to work on them, and if you work on them you won't do them in the tournament. So that's how we usually avoid some errors and mistakes, just because we see our mistakes prior on the scrim already, so we know what to do and what not to do.
Lovely, yes, and that surely has helped you guys over the years. Cool. So talking about keeping that level and playing in a higher, I would say, perspective here, regionally speaking, I want to take the chance of bringing up to the microphone Ruin's question. He was like asking, PJ, what are the talks about the potential Asia codm League? What do you think about that? Do you like the current format of Cdsi? Would it change anything? How do you see the region as a whole when it comes to gameplay level and championships?
For the codem Asia League, the one Uling was talking about,
Yeah. That
I
one,
think
yes.
I think I'm looking forward to that. It's a really good event. It's like CDSI but better. But so I really hope Tencent makes that happen. it's a really good event, really good event. And everyone is looking forward to it. Everyone wants it to happen. So, Tencent, let's make it happen. We'll put a good show.
Yeah, and Tencent, if you're hearing us, please also allow me to cast or watch party.
Yeah,
Call me. I'm
let
gonna
it
be.
cast, man.
It's gonna be a pleasure to do that, either
Let
English or
Lanix cast, let
Portuguese.
Lanix cast.
Love it. Thanks, man. Thanks for the shout out. Yeah, I'll be loving to compare and like analyze you guys again and see how you guys evolve, because there's one thing we know from gaming, right, PJ, is that getting to the peak is hard, but keeping as the best is even harder. So,
Yes.
what is the mentality you have about that?
The mentality is just to what you did last. Let's say that what you did last year, you have to do it twice the effort now. So you have to double the effort you just did. So it's going to be much harder. It's hard to reach the top, but it's more hard to maintain at the top. So
Yeah.
in order to maintain it, you have to work twice as hard as you did. So if you work twice as hard, you have to work 4 times more in order to maintain it. But uh, just like everyone thinks, there's really no one who remains at the top, which is actually true because no one has done it yet. But maybe we're the first.
Yeah. Wow. Again, a lesson of mentality here, guys. Take notes. If you're hearing us, you play the rank, you want to be a pro player, take notes. Take notes, because PJ is, bringing it all to us here. There's a very nice question from PJ, my friend from X from Twitter. He's asking, if you were to predict, right, some nice Western players coming to the East, because we know that Tectonic has done this movement. So, what other Western players you think would be you would be willing to see actually, or to compete with in the East? Which guys you think that could potentially improve their gameplay levels coming to the East?
I think Raf also have some potential. I think him going to the east would actually make a huge waves in the west, but for we have to also think the factors and possibilities where which team will he transfer, because there's
Yeah.
really not a lot of team in the east right now who is actually wanting a new player. So Raf is one of the players if ever that comes, if ever that happens. And one other player also is Band. He's a very talented player. He's also a Filipino. I think he
Yep.
has a big talent, and I think he puts some hard work too. I always see him playing, and if ever comes to the East, I think it would have another great impact, not only in the West but also in the East. It would start making waves, just just like what I mentioned on Raf. But other than that, I think the Western teams are already fine. It's just that they have no motivation. They have no motivation to play just because they're playing for one tournament a year, which I understand.
Yeah.
And there's really just uh, aside from the lack of motivation, they need more exposure, unlike we have in the East, where in the East we're really just spoiled, with everything. So
Yeah.
hopefully next year will be a better year for everyone.
Nice. Yes. And the same can be said about the Brazilian and Latin region, right? We know, guys, there's not a lot of competitions rolling, and that's unfortunate. The same happens in Europe, so let's hope that changes soon. And if that doesn't change, also, what we're going to be seeing is Garena even stronger and stronger, and eventually Garena wanting to expand operations, to other regions and continents to maybe make also whatever happens in Asia happens in other regions as well. Well, that's my expectations. Not nothing that I know of or that I'm spoiling here, but like I'm hoping for that to happen when it comes to improving the overall level of quality of the game. We're talking about Raf. The guys are talking about Raf in the chat because obviously PJ mentioned him. Yeah, I think he said he retired, but let's see how things go. I never usually trust much when players say like I am retiring. Like, come on,
They
you
will
guys,
come back. I'm sure they will
right?
come back.
There's always a comeback potential, right? Okay, you agree with me, PJ, because I mean, you taste the stage, you get to a higher level. Come on, you suddenly giving up on that? No, that's that's bullshit.
Yeah, I don't believe like I'm with the huge time we have. I'm sure you have the urge to come back.
Yeah. Yeah, I told him that. You know, we're in person, like hanging in the lounge, and I said, "Hey, buddy, you're not retired. You have so much talent, and also his energy, right? PJ, his personal energy is so good. You can never see
Yeah,
that
I
guy
like.
out of the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, I like his aura. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah, he's alright. Yeah, you said it right. Cool. So moving ahead, I want to ask you about Olia, right? Olia. I don't know
Yeah,
how you guys mentioned, but
yeah,
we've
Olia,
seen
Olia.
Olia. We see him a lot with you guys. He seems to be like a cornerstone for the team, you know, meaning a very important key to the team functioning. How do you like working with him? Like, how much of this victory in the World Champs you credit to him?
I think maybe 50% of the effort goes to him. He's always been motivating us every time we're rock bottom. Ever since last year, we've hit rock bottom last year. He's always been the our foundation. He's always the pillar of the team. He's always motivating us. He's always telling us that we're next year we're taking back everything. So aside from
Yeah.
that, strategic wise, I think he has the best strategies in response. Then for the reason some of you guys might always see him every time we win or lose, he always comes to like the stage. He always say that uh he doesn't scold us, but rather he motivates us to play more. He wants us to play better. He wants us to get a better mental and always stays 2 steps ahead of our opponent. So aside from me always having a good mental, it's always our coach. Coach is our like uh, I- uh, our role person, and when you have a role person, that's who you follow, right? So it all starts from
Yeah.
your coach. It all starts from your coach. What you see from your coach is what you apply to yourself. So whoever watching right now is a coach, you have to show your players that you are a good role model for them. You have to show a good role model to them in order for them to have a good habit on listening to you, to applying your habits. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that line from you because we have to always praise the coaches and managers. They help so much, and especially after seeing a lot of talented Brazilian, coaches as Igor, as Zampis, Major, etc., Palitão. We know that the Asian coaches have been like shining and bright, and especially a huge shout out to Hippo, to obviously Olia and Flower from Luminosity as well. So giant Asian coaches, changing the game and understanding the basics behind the way that the game has been evolving. And about that, I want to move our conversation here to like a more technical side of things, which is gonna be also interesting. Weapons and metas. And I'm gonna ask you a bunch of things who are gonna be our last chapter of the conversation here, PJ. But like, do you like how the game is shifting? Like into the submachines as the game is like getting lighter and like faster on the pacing because the AR's times seem to be over.
Mm, I think my personal opinion, actually no, my team's opinion, we really don't care what the meta is. If it's
Wow.
SMG meta, then it's just gonna favor us. If it's AR meta, we can turn that AR into SMG. So it really doesn't matter what weapon the meta is. It's always going to be your strategy. It's like you have it's like life. You have to deal with the cards you're dealt with, and that's what we do. We don't complain the meta. We don't complain about it. You never see anything from us complaining about the meta. It's always gonna be your strategy, and how you'll deal with the current situation. And that's where our coach comes in and fixes it.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, guys, you see that. So regardless of the weapon, the guys are gonna be fighting and grinding. I like that. But I still have to ask you because our followers, they love this kind of thing. I still have to ask you your three favorite weapons in the game. It can be weapons that are not in the meta anymore, or currently meta weapons. What do you say?
I think number one is a no-brainer. I think everyone, when they hear KRM, I think that's me. KRM, then
Yeah.
the Fennec and the R9. I like those two. I use them a lot, especially
Yeah.
the Fennec and KRM.
Yeah, and about KRM, I like how you mentioned this shotgun and also R9. What other great players you like to watch playing with them? Like, we know a bunch of players use them in many regions. Is there any
Yeah,
better KRM player than you, or you don't think so?
mm, for KRM, I think someone can actually, stand head to head with me, but uh, I would win. But respectfully though,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I really like players who put up a good fight, and like 4K. I think 4K, his R9 is really good. I think his R9 is better than me. I'm humble enough to know that. His R9 is just insane, on top of the world. I think he's the best R9 player. I really respect 4K.
Wow, awesome. I would say, other than Fokke, maybe you would like to play against two other Brazilian guys that we could not see, unfortunately, shining in this World Finals because of visa stuff, but like Rafa, that was not able to get to Atlanta, and also Bigodeira. Bigodeira is another very good player. He played for, okay, both of them played for Magic.
For Magic.
Vitrini, yeah, for Magic. Anyways, they were not at their best, but they put up a good fight, even with Rafa having to be replaced by Leozin. But
So
anyways,
visa
they did their
issues.
best.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I understand. It really sucks for some teams having visa issues. Hopefully,
yeah,
maybe next year. Let's see.
yeah. Let's see. Let's hope that changes like for the best. And anyways, we can have like some of the the main players
Yeah.
from the rosters coming up. Hello, Laura. Hello, Shinedu. Hello, all friends that we didn't actually said hi to. We're just keeping here in the conversation and focusing on the ideas and on the content. If you didn't hit the like button, please like the button, and also follow our channel and share the stream, because we're leaning to the end here of our conversation, our very interesting conversation with PJ, by the way. And PJ, I gotta ask you something also about players now. That's a very tricky one I have prepped. I wanted to know your opinion about this. So, shoot it out for us. What are the three players, let's say, you don't fear facing in the game? And on the other hand, I want to know three players you would fear facing. Do you have a list on your mind?
Oh, I actually do. I think for the three players that I fear, I think it's always gonna be those three titans from the China. It's always gonna be Zai, Uling, and Dono. I think those three are a level of their own. They're incomparable. They have a level of their own. And for the three players that which I don't fear, um, which I don't fear. I would say I don't. I think a lot of people will get mad at me, but I'm just gonna say that I mean it when I said that I didn't fear Luazin, or like ever since I did not fear him. Another player. Another player. Hmm. Pieg from Wolves. I do not fear him. People
Yeah.
say Skyrim is better than me. I think otherwise. Um, Pieg. One more. I think I need one more. I want one more. Hmm. Also Mihawk, those two
Ooh.
from Galoris.
Yeah.
Luizin and Mihawk. While I respect those two, I still think that it's not that I'm better, but I can fight them head to toe. So I can fight them on equal grounds. That's what I meant. Sorry. Then Pieg, it's just that he is actually strong. Maybe he's a little lower below Zai. Um, he's really strong, especially his KRM. Actually, I think everyone knows that, but I think otherwise. I think I'm better than him on KRM.
Cool.
Those are the three players that I don't fear: Lugazin, Pieg, and Mihawk. I respect them, but I don't fear them.
There you are. There it is, guys. That's the list. Cool. And to wrap it up, okay, final question, guys. You all in the chat have been fantastic. You guys have been helping us a lot. But as we know, in the Philippines now, it's already a Friday night, and PJ wants to chill and to have enough time. So just give us some quick tip. I'm sorry, PJ, about using the gyro, some
Oh, the
gyro
gyro, the
training. Yeah,
gyroscope.
folks are asking gyro tips. So yeah,
The
bring it up.
gyroscope. I started it. I started using it around 4 years ago. It was like a Garena classic, where if China's classic is five fingers, Garena's classic is gyro. Um, I think gyro. You can start relatively low. Maybe you can start around 50 to 80 gyro. Regarding the gyro, you can use the gyro for tracking the enemy, for controlling the recoil. And when you have gyro on that kind of level, it helps with your gun skill and it helps you to be precise. But for me, I play with my thumb. I shoot with my thumb, so my gyro is a little higher than usual. So
Yeah,
uh, I use my gyro for flicking. I also use it for flicking the enemies since I use thumb to shoot. I don't use index like usual players. So gyro will help your in my opinion, personal opinion, it will help your gunfights more stronger. Helps you to be more precise, especially with the micro adjustments, which is really hard, especially if you're not using the gyro. I think everyone knows how hard it is to micro adjust. Then controlling the recoil, especially for SMG users like me, who runs a Fennec. We all know that Fennec has a fucking recoil that sends you to heaven.
yeah.
So gyro really helps with that. You can start using gyro maybe around 50 to 80, or probably you can work it. You can work your way up or work your way down. Just find where you're comfortable using it.
I
I
love
think that's
that.
all I have to say.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I never heard about like, using that to control the recoil. That seems awesome. That seems awesome in many weapons. And yeah, cool, nice. One last opinion about sensitivity. Do you have any tip on that, PJ? How to
For
set your
sensitivity,
yeah
for finding your sensitivity, I really don't recommend you guys to just copy what each pro players use, because they use that kind of sensitivity because that's where they find themselves comfortable.
yeah
So I really suggest that you find your own sensitivity, find where you're comfortable at, whether it's a high or low sensitivity. But other than that, I really suggest that I just want to give a piece of advice that you won't find your sensitivity right away. It takes time. You have to play and play to find out whether your sensitivity is too high or too low. So maybe you can also practice it at the training range or the practice range and play rank. So what I suggest is that you just adjust. If you feel the sensitivity is too fast, maybe you can subtract maybe around 5. And if it's too slow, you can add maybe around 5. So just do it, just micro adjust it slowly and slowly until you find yourself comfortable where you're hitting your shots more consistently. So that's my piece of advice, guys. You don't just don't copy what pro player sensitivity. That's not how it works, guys.
Fantastic, my friends. There it is. Again, if you just got to this stream at the end, you can always watch it all over with everything we talked here, which was fantastic as a conversation. So, PJ, it was a pleasure to be here with you. It was awesome to take a little bit of this time to learn from you and hear, live stream. I guess our folks in the chat loved it as well. So, appreciate it,
Yes.
man. And tell us what is goodbye on, how can I say goodbye in Filipino?
Goodbye in Filipino. There's no bye bye in Filipino. It's just like the normal bye bye, like that.
Oh yeah? Okay. So
Yeah.
bye bye. Valeu,
Yeah, bye
galera.
bye.
In Portuguese, bye bye. Good to see you and stay with us in socials. It was awesome. Thank you all.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Bye, guys.